what do you attribute your bankruptcy to?
Oh, my ego, without a doubt. My ego was as big as King Kong, right? It was huge. It was just nuts. It was crazy. I had a huge ego. So as a result of my huge ego, I got into a position where I made some bad decisions. It was all about, I call external motivating factors, things like money, fame, notoriety, cars, all the things that I have now that I realized mean absolutely jack. And at that time, right, I focused on all those things and
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tribe of Millionaires podcast. These are life lessons you can apply from some of the most successful people in the world. I'm your host, Jamie Gruber. My guest today, Marques Ogden, went from 6-year NFL career to bankruptcy and all the way back. Today, he's a best-selling author, top keynote speaker, founder of Ogden Ventures, LLC, specializing in inspirational keynote speaking for major corporations and organizations, plus coaching and consulting for business professionals and high-level executives. Also a former Buffalo Bill, which is what I love about the guy. Welcome, brother.
How you doing, Jamie? Thanks for having me on, brother.
It's great to have you. We're 0-1, man. We're 0-1 after last night, but I don't know.
Man, and Rodgers goes out and they still lose. That's not good. That's not good.
But shouldn't you be saying we? Once a Bill, always a Bill, man. Come on.
I mean, yeah, we are not doing well right now, but yeah, it's all good. I mean, it'll get better, man. I mean, it'll get better.
Long season. I want to start with this. Your story, there's plenty there. We're going to get into it. Right now, the world feels like it's heavy. The economic news that's been there for the last year. First, people were like, it's okay, things will get better. And it feels like, and a lot of people I talk to, and even me, it just feels like there's just so many things that feel like they're weighing us down, whether it's in our business or relationships or whatever it might be. You, on the other hand, from what I can tell, you gritted through a lot, even in the last year, going through all of what's going on right now. What is the key, the secret? What is it that you're doing that maybe everybody needs to learn from that's allowing you to thrive when everyone else is attempting to survive?
So what I really focus on, Jamie, is the mindset piece, where I have a mindset that bends under pressure but never breaks. I'm extremely busy. I'm on the go a lot. I was in South Dakota for a speaking job last week, flew to Sioux Falls, 3.5 hour drive to Pierre from Sioux Falls, spoke Thursday morning in front of 500 people, got in the car, drove, did coaching calls the entire way, back to the airport, flew back home, got in at 1, woke up, went to the gym, have my daughter. I'm divorced. Have my daughter now. We co-parent. And I had her this weekend. She had a fun weekend of like sleepovers and all this stuff. I get little sleep. I work. I do what I gotta do. But that's because my mindset has never, ever broken, right? So, like, for example, I'm a part of a speaker bureau, a couple jobs. They were like, oh, Marques, you might be listed for it. I said, oh, to remove those jobs, that's okay. You're not going to get every job. You're not going to get every opportunity. That's part of life. How do you respond to that? That's huge. That's big. So for me, I tell people all the time, if you want to be successful in life, learn how to respond to negativity, adversity, hard times, dark times, and really focus on what you can control. If you can't control it, right, Jamie? Don't worry about it.
That's true. Are you in this space where you're running like that because you feel you have to, or because you want to, or somewhere in between?
Great question. No, it's because I want to, right? I mean, our podcast, Get Authentic with Marques Ogden, is close to the top 0.5% in the world, most popular. We do very well there. I own parts of different businesses that are doing exceptionally well, like Grind Oral Care. We are a toothpaste brand. We're in 455 Walmarts across the country, doing well. I own part of Adult Real ID. That is trying to stop child trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking app, doing very well with big universities, making money there. So no, I don't have to, but I love speaking, and speaking, right, Jamie, is what started this whole train of Ogden Ventures 10 years ago, exactly this month.
So today, all of that is going on. I love that answer, by the way. Thank you. I mentioned bankruptcy. This was after your NFL career. Mindset never broke. You've always been somebody who's driven. I mean, to make it to the NFL, I mean, obviously you've got to grow. You got to go. What do you attribute your bankruptcy to?
Oh, my ego, without a doubt. My ego was as big as King Kong, right? It was huge. It was just nuts. It was crazy. Literally, I had a huge ego. So as a result of my huge ego, I got to a position where I made some bad decisions. I got, um, I was all about, I call external motivating factors, things like money, fame, notoriety, cars, all the things that I have now that I realized mean absolutely jack. And at that time, right, Jimmy, I focused on all those things, and my energy was toxic. It was just horrible. As a result of that, I lost everything in 2013.
If you were focused on the external stuff then and you have it now, what have you focused on now specifically that's allowed you to have the things you thought were important but weren't, but were easy to get now? What is it that your mindset obviously, but what is it that you're focused on in terms of being able to build and grow the way you have?
People, people, my clients, their needs, their wants, their desires, their things they want to achieve. Great quote by Zig Ziglar. When you help others achieve what they want, you achieve what you want. And that's the truth of the matter. And now I focus on what our clients need, their exposure, their growth, their branding, their marketing, their happiness. And as a result, right, Jamie, that's when things that I want, like my new home that I bought, it'll be 4 months exactly this Friday, right? I moved into May of 2023, May 15th, 2023, I moved in. I love where I live. Great neighbors, great people. But if I was not focused, right, Jimmy, on the people that I'm helping through interviewing on our podcast, sponsors, client base, whatever, right, Jeremy? Sorry, right, Jamie? I'm not there. I'm
Yeah.
not there. Jamie, and that's why I tell everybody at the end of the day, right? You have to focus on who you are trying to serve. And a lot of times, Jamie, people don't do that. They focus on making money and all that, and that doesn't matter, man. 'Cause at the end of the day, focus on the clients and what they need. Everything else will come to fruition.
What's the timeline on that for you? You started this 10 years ago. Give me an idea. When did it break, if you will, for you? When did it sway in your favor? Because I know like even a year ago, you were in an apartment and you had this goal, I believe, of getting a house by right around now. So you're ahead of that, right? You're about 4 months ahead of that, if I'm not mistaken. But
Great
what was
question.
the break?
So let me go back. So what you said. So I got divorced last July. Well, let me go back. I found some things out in my marriage last July. I ended up filing for divorce July. I moved out November 15th of last year. And so my goal was to get a house by November of 2023. I beat that by almost 6 months, right? I moved in May 15th. So I beat that. Such a blessing, right? But when it broke for me, really, Jamie, was in 2018 when I met Mel Robbins in Boston. And I was on her platform, Kick Ass with Mel was her audiobook. And I got coached also by NAPSA, National Athletic Professional Success Academy, which they had a partnership with the NFLPA, Retired Players Association. My mentor, former Penn State linebacker and Washington Redskin linebacker Andre Collins, got me to go to that program. That's when it broke for me, when I learned about how to use my skills from football to life to business. But then again, it broke for me once I was in that apartment and I moved to where I'm at now because of what I went through in 2018 of the coaching, being developed, meeting Mel Robbins, all those things allowed me, right, Jamie, in 2023 when I was struggling, trying to get ahead because of my divorce, It allowed me to move forward and it taught me how to do so in a really efficient manner.
What were some of those lessons from football to life to business that you applied? I'm curious about that. Do you recall any specific lessons that were applicable?
Best best line I learned from Jack Del Rio. In life, be your own CEO. Period. Jack told us in 2003, I was a 22-year-old rookie. Never, ever, ever allow somebody else to tell you how to live your life and be your driving force. You need to be your own CEO. Come to work early, stay late, go to the Jaguar community, meet people, right, Jamie? Get people to know about you, get people to be excited about. I mean, the Jaguars beat the Colts in the home opener, right? So
The key to life, it isn't money, it's happiness. And when you measure how happy you are, you actually become even more happy. Our friends at GoBundance, the Tribe of Millionaires, use a very specific tool to measure their happiness. It's called the Life Happiness Index, and you can have it too. Go over to GoBundance.com/LHI and take your Life Happiness Index assessment. You'll rate yourself in multiple categories on exactly how happy you are and get a custom output for you specifically that you can use in developing whatever goals you have for your life. GoBundance is the tribe of healthy, wealthy, generous people who choose to live epic lives. And the tool GoBundance members use at the base of all of that is the Life Happiness Index. Get out there and grab life big.
I'm actually going to the Jaguar 49ers game in November. I just signed up to go. I don't have my daughter that weekend, so I'm going to head down there for our retired players, a group. And I'm going to really focus on what Jack told me, which is, wow, 20 years ago, 21 to be exact, because I turned 43 in November. But in 2000 and no, it was 20 years ago, 2003, Jack told us, be your own CEO. Right, Jamie? And that stuck with me, and it has my entire life.
I love that. Your book, your bestseller, is called Sleepless Nights. I love that phrase. I experienced that in droves. At times, sleepless nights, other times not. Why did you name it that? What was the impetus for that name?
Great question, Jamie. When I was trying to launch the business, Ogden Ventures, I had tons of sleepless nights. It was hard. It was long. It was stressful. Nobody wanted to take our calls, right? Nobody wanted to hire us. Nobody wanted to pay us. All the jobs I had done to that point, right, Jamie, were all free. Nobody wanted to give us money to this or for that. So it was stressful trying to just survive to pay the day-to-day bills. So we called it Sleepless Nights because I had many sleepless nights trying to get this business started in September 2013.
Why didn't they want to pay you at that point? Do you understand? Did they give you any feedback?
Oh yeah, because my message, my what I was bringing to the table was not going to help serve their employees or their audiences. And you know what, Jamie? They were 100% right. Because today I am an inspirational speaker. I bring great stories. I bring a message with action steps. At that time in 2013, 14, and 15, I didn't know what an action step was to bring to a client. People aren't going to pay you to motivate them. They're going to pay you to inspire them towards taking action to make a change after you're done speaking.
That's interesting. Inspirational speaker versus motivational speaker. Is that a clear delineation that you make for yourself?
Oh, amen. I am an inspirational speaker, Jamie, all day long. I'm going to inspire you, give you hope, and I'm going to educate you on how to be better in your own life. Versus a motivational speaker, it's going to get you rah, 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 rah for a day, two, maybe a week. And there's nothing after that.
Nothing after that. Agreed. What were some of the jobs that you were doing back in that time to make ends meet? This is post NFL, right? You're the pinnacle of the NFL. Hell, your brother's an NFL Hall of Famer, right? Like you come from a football pedigree. I mean, this is like your entire identity, your existence. If you don't mind, list some of the jobs you were doing to make ends meet.
So after the NFL, I built a successful construction company as an owner. It was an 8-figure business. Lost that in April 2013. I worked at Merrill Lynch, fired after 2 months. I went to a construction company that next day, fired after 5 days. I was a football one-on-one training coach. I ran a 7-on-7 league. I was a birthday clown at birthday parties playing football with kids in a clown outfit. I was a custodian making $8.25 an hour, and I did all those jobs just to make ends meet while pursuing trying to get my speaking business started to help create another way of helping our family and helping others. But I did all those jobs. Merrill Lynch, fired. Construction company, fired. Birthday clown, trainer, did a 7-on-7 league, and I was a custodian working in downtown Raleigh for $8.25 an hour.
Yeah, to be clear, custodian, you mean janitor, right? A guy that's mopping floors and cleaning just like that. The being fired, you mentioned your ego. Was that still a point of you being fired from those jobs? Was it all ego?
Oh yeah, big time. I had an ego like, all right, well, I made a mistake, kinda, sorta. I thought I was part of it. The company lost everything. I'm a great guy. Pay me big dollars, big salary. I'm the man. No, I wasn't the man. No, I didn't deserve the big dollars. So I had to start over. And the problem was, and I got fired for good reason. Merrill Lynch, because I was not doing well in my practice test, my fault. And with the construction company, it closed after 5 days. But I should have been smarter, right? Jamie got a contract, got everything set in stone. But because I was so arrogant, so egotistical, oh, they'll never fire me. They gave me a company truck, phone. They loved me. Bam. I get fired 5 days later. So my ego was a really big part of my struggles when I first moved to Raleigh.
8-figure construction company. You don't build that without, some level of effort, man. That's not a mistake. You don't, you know what I mean? Like that's a big company if you built it to 8 figures. What was the downfall? Like what happened? What were your actions specifically that you feel contributed to this 8-figure company getting you down to, at some point, I think you said you're down to $1,000 in your account. So how did you lose an 8-figure company?
My ego got in the way because I got so focused, right, Jamie, on making a bunch of money. And unfortunately, I ended up pushing away my best people, my best employees, and then I ended up spending about close to $3 million on one job in downtown Raleigh, in downtown Baltimore, and I ended up not being repaid by the developer and the contractor in that job in downtown Baltimore. Between that and losing my best people, bam, I lose it all.
Wow. So on the ego part with this construction company specifically, was it always that way? I'm really curious about how you built it that big and then how it went down. Was it just like, hey, you know what? I was the same guy at the beginning as I was at the end. We lucked into some success, and in the end, it fell apart. Or did you come in humble and left too proud?
I came in humble and I left way too proud. I have a saying, right, Jamie? If you're not prepared to handle success, success will hand you your ass. And it handed me my butt in 2013 because I wasn't humble. I wasn't grateful. I wasn't appreciative. I was all about money, money, money. Fame, fame, fame. And as a result of that, I became so arrogant, so egotistical. I pushed away my best people. I made some mistakes in business. And man, did it ever cost me.
Who are you trying to prove yourself to in that time, do you think?
That's a really great question. Myself.
Hmm.
Because being the younger brother of Jonathan Ogden, the greatest offensive tackle in the NFL's history, I was like, man, I'm going to show everybody that I'm not just J.O.'s little brother. And especially, right, Jamie, I built the company in Baltimore. So I was like, I'm going to be my own man. I'm going to be my own Ogden. And I was my worst enemy ever.
What's the relationship like with your brother today? And is it any different than it was back then?
Oh, I mean, we're really close. I mean, we're close. You know, we chat probably once, twice a week. He's doing well. He's moving through some things in life. And, like anybody else, he's got his struggles, things he's trying to work through, but we're very, very close. Our father passed away in 2006. So we have each other. That's all we really have. And, he's got 3 children. Mary lives in Vegas, has a house also in Baltimore. I actually saw the Ravens had like their home opener against they beat the Texans, and I saw a bunch of former Raven guys. He was there at the game, all that kind of stuff. So it's really good to see him with former teammates, enjoying himself, getting out. We have a great relationship, but again, like I said, like anybody else, he's got life, kids, family, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. How today are there practices, maybe specifically, that you have in place today? Because you are having success again. How do you avoid sabotaging that success? How do you avoid slipping back into maybe, lacking humility and all the mistakes you had in the past? I mean, you're a new man, you're older, wiser. I get that. But are there anything tactically that you're doing to make sure that you stay humble, that you stay hungry?
Great question, Jamie. I tell my team the only thing that you can't tell me is nothing. The only thing I'll get mad at is if you don't tell me how you're feeling. So, as a result of having the right people around me that can talk to me, tell me their truth, how they feel, what's going on, as a result of that, right, Jamie? That keeps me humble. I tell my team, tell me whatever you need to tell me, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care. As long as you tell me how you feel, I'll never be mad at you. And because of that relationship we have with our team, people on our team speak their mind. And I tell the team all the time, if you tell me something and I push back, if you want me to actually do it, push back just one time, just one, it'll be done. My website guy, Marcus, we need more content in the services section of our website telling people what it is you do in certain areas, who it's for, and the benefit. I pushed back. He pushed back one time only. He got what he needed from me the next day at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like I tell my team, if you really want me to do something, and if I push back, you push back one time only. That's it. I'll get it done. So
So
because
full
of that, Jamie, that's how I move forward in life.
So full service to everyone around you, team and everyone else in your clientele.
Correct.
What is the core of the message that you deliver when you go into a Fortune 5? I know you've spoken to about a dozen Fortune 500 companies. What's the core
50.
of the 50? 50. Okay, so 4 dozen. I got that number wrong. Um, what's the core of what people are taking away? So you mentioned you're an inspirational speaker. I really like that. What are you teaching? Not the whole speech, obviously. I mean that's for them, but like generally speaking, what are they looking for their leadership? What are they looking for from you?
It depends on the topic that I'm hired for. If it's servant leadership, it's about how to be a non self absorbed leader. It's about mindset, how to have an unbreakable mindset and move through your ego. It's about culture, how to recycle versus trash company culture. If it's about marketing, how to drop the poker face and be authentic in selling. Be you, be real. So it depends, right, Jamie, on what I'm hired for. But the main thing, I tell you all the time, is in times of extreme darkness, focus on the light. Aristotle. Be that individual that blazes your own trail. Be the individual that says, you know what? Here I am. Here's who I am. Here's what I'm about. I'm going to help not just you, but anybody else around you that wants to be great. And as a result of that main theme and being authentic and real, right, Jamie, we have a very robust client base.
I love this topic of darkness, kind of going back to the jump of what we started talking about. This feeling like a heavy time, maybe the weight of just like the ongoing economic malaise that seems to be out there. How much of that is impacting you, if at all? You mentioned that people might cancel a job or whatever, but are you feeling like it's heavier? Are you feeling like it's harder? Or do you just not feel that given all of what you've talked about today?
That's a great question, Jamie. I feel it, yes, because I have to give our services at a cheaper price. People want a discount and they want either the same amount of work or more. And that's okay, because you know what? I'm very proud of our brand. Speaking, coaching, consulting, podcasting. As a result of that, I'll stand behind our work every single day. Am I feeling it as far as getting hired? Not that way. But am I feeling it as far as having to give more for less? Absolutely. People are spending, right, Jamie? But they're spending less and they're being much more aware and they're much more conservative, right, Jamie, in their spending.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel that same way. How are you systematizing or structuring or determining? I'm curious about this. Some of your pricing. There's a lot of people that are going to listen to this that are in different sectors, right? They could be a roofing company owner, or they might be in the coaching space or whatever. And there's a fine line, I think, between panicking and cutting your prices and doing so in a strategic way that makes sense given the business climate. Is there anything you could offer advice wise on how you've made the decision specifically to maybe, do more for less?
That's a great question. What I'm doing is I'm reducing our prices somewhere around 15%. And what I figured to myself is, hey, look, if I take 15% less on a job, I have to do about another half more in signing new clients. So say signing one client, sign a client and a half, quote unquote. And as a result of that, I feel good because you know what? I don't mind taking on another half a client, and usually it's a whole client, which makes like, I'm still coming out way ahead. And as a result of that, things move for us in a much better direction. So again, if you're listening, figure out based on your expenses, what you're bringing in, then look at your overhead, all these other aspects, and say, okay, what can I do to bring my price down somewhat to move towards giving people a quote unquote discount, but still making enough money for me where I feel I'm getting paid, maybe not full price for my value of my services, but close enough where you know that you do a great job for them on that first contract. The next time you can raise your prices. One of my clients told me today he has a lead source, right, Jamie? $7,500 a month. They're raising their prices at the beginning of next year to 11 grand per month. You know what my client told me? I'm paying it all day because he said to me, right, Jamie? I get about 70% of my business from that one lead source. So again, he knows That extra 35% on top is where the predominant amount of his lead sources come from. So he's going to pay it. So again, if you're going to reduce your price, which we all have to do sometimes in this climate, reduce it, do a great job, show the value, then from there, raise your prices back to what you know you deserve based upon the value you bring to your client base.
What is your greatest marketing asset right now? Is it speaking?
Oh,
Is it the book?
no.
What
Nope.
is it?
Podcast.
Hmm.
Without a doubt, the podcast. We meet phenomenal people off our show. We make money off of people sponsoring our show. We meet people who can do what? Refers to who? Their network for opportunities. Without a doubt, Jamie, the podcast is the best source of marketing for our brand at this time. No doubt about it.
What do you think has been the success of the podcast? Why has it grown? I mean, it's a compilation of things, but is there anything specific you feel that maybe you learned or did or implemented that was a difference maker in the podcast growth?
We took the Joe Rogan approach. Interviewed anyone and everyone that fit our theme, which is authenticity. That's it. Does Joe Rogan interview the same type of people every day? Nope. Not at all. Do we? Nope. Not at all. It could be a entrepreneur, real estate investor, podcaster, singer like David Archuleta. It could be somebody like Cheryl Burke that is a singer that's on Dancing with the Stars. It could be Dionne Warwick's son. You never know. You never know.
That. Yeah.
People love diversity. Why? This way they can learn from different people from different walks of life.
You bringing the brother on at any point?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. I'll bring him on. But, yeah, you know, with the season coming up and all that, he's got a lot going. But I will definitely bring Jonathan on. Yeah, we've interviewed people like Willie Parker Jr. on our show, Gus Farrat on our show.
Yeah.
Tim Wright, who won the Super Bowl as a tight end with the Patriots with Tom Brady. Yeah. We're all about diversity, right, Jamie? Diverse people bring what? Diverse audiences.
I love that. I love that. That's a great, great point. So the podcast is your primary lead magnet. How are you converting podcast guests to referrals? Are they meaning where they refer you? Is it an outward ask or is it organic?
Oh, sure. It's a, hey, look, can we have a phone call to discuss how your brand can align with our show? And on that chat, phone call, Zoom, whatever, we talk about strategies. They want to become a sponsor. They want to become an affiliate. We're launching, Jamie, a 3-month cohort program on 3 areas: branding, how to get bigger speaking jobs, and how to grow and monetize your podcast. All these things work well. We even have our own app, right, Jamie? The Marques Ogden app. It's if you have a Google phone or if you have an iPhone. I'm sorry, Google phone. If you have an iPhone or if you have like a Samsung, you can go on there, or a Google phone. You can go on there to the App Store, type in my name, Marques, Marques, Ogden, right, Jamie, Ogden, and the App Store will pop right up. So we're trying to find ways, right, Jamie, to be able to give people information, content, and lessons as easy and quickly and efficiently as possible.
What I love about what you just said is that I call this the FAQ of you, right? In other words, there's a business opportunity around the questions that you're frequently asked. So for you, so this interview is a great example. We start off with, okay, yeah, you've been an NFL player. That's interesting. You've gone through bankruptcy. That's interesting. You could even get into divorce and building your business in the space that you're in the branding space. But on top of that, people, I'm sure, as I have in this interview, have asked you about, well, how are you marketing? How are you leveraging the podcast? So on and so forth. So with those questions for you becomes, well, hey, that's a bolt-on. That's another business opportunity that we have to add value to others by talking about these specific things, which I think is great. Is that intentional, or is it sort of organic when that happens? Like, hey, you know what? Here's an opportunity to build the business.
That's a great question. How did I meet you, right, Jamie? Through Dr. Jeff Donatello, Center for Wellbeing, that actually worked on my right shoulder to help treat it to get my life back. How did I meet Jeff? He came on our show, right? So again, it's organic, right? People love to buy. Nobody likes being sold to. Nobody. So again, it's all about relationships. It's all about how you build real continuity with people like you, people like Jeff. It's all about the guests. It's all about the relationships. I don't care to try to be transactional. Oh, hire me for no. One of my biggest clients, my main guy, is leaving there to take a job at a big bank in Philly. I will may work with that client still where he was at. Maybe I will stay with those guys a little bit. I hope so. But if not, wherever my guy goes to that new bank, I'll be there for speeches, for working together, for growing together. Another company, Pod Pony, helping us grow our podcast. How did I meet him? He used to work at that same big client. We've been staying in touch for what? 4 years now. So again, like Jeff and what he's done for me and my shoulder, when he came on our show, he introduced me to you. Now here we are, right? So again, it's very organic. It's not salesy or transaction based.
It's the thing I love most about podcasting, to be honest with you. People say like, oh, what's your audience size? I'm like, it's great. I want to grow it, of course. But more than that, it's the people you get to meet through this medium. It's the connections you get to make. It's the interactions you have. It's the relationships you build. So I completely agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. I love how you're leveraging it. I love how you're true to that, which is awesome. I want to ask you about building your business. This question. So there's a popular book out there and concept, Who Not How, and you talked a bit about you're surrounding yourself with the right people. If someone is starting a business like yours, a brand, there's a lot of people that are interested. Everyone, you hear it all the time, like everyone wants to be a coach, and there's a reason for that. A lot of people want to add value, and it's interesting to help others and maybe be paid for that. But if you're starting a brand, a coaching and or consulting and or speaking business like Ogden Ventures, when do you hire? And if so, who do you hire?
You hire someone that can come in as a hybrid to help you in other areas: branding, marketing, sales, ops, finance. Bring someone in that can stretch across all the boards. Master of no trade, but jack of a lot. And I'll tell you why. In the beginning, you want somebody who's not afraid to do what? Cross into different sections. Now, as you make money and become more established, hire someone that's an expert or a master in one of those areas: branding, marketing, sales, so on and so forth. Because in the beginning, what do you need? Help. My business partner, Dawn Weiner, was a jack of all trades, master of none. She helped me with my videography, photography, website, social media. She got in there, right, Jamie? Said, you know what? I'm going to help you everywhere I can. As I made money, I hired that person, right, Jamie? That person. Whereas today I have a full team in videography, internal manager, external manager, social media, CPA, bookkeeper, trademark and patent, you name it. But it starts with that one person that believes in you, that can help you, and as you grow, bring people in to help fill the gaps.
I love that. I've got that guy right now. He's a guy I've known for a while, and he's just, like you said, he's a jack of all trades, probably master of operations if you had to pick one. And it's been transformational having that one guy. And really, he's doing it very much so on belief, essentially on belief in me and what can be accomplished. And I'm sure he sees upside with me and so on. So But that's a great point. And I love how you made that point that it's, you get that one person, and then as you go, you start to reinvest in your brand.
You
Incredible.
have to, because here's the thing, you can't, right, Jamie, hire an expert in each field. That won't work because you're not gonna have the revenue. Find somebody that will get in the trenches with you and build with you. Once you have that, then you know you're primed for success.
Love it. Love it. On that note, my friend, I know you got some things to do, and I've gotten a lot out of our time together. Where can people learn more about you? A website, a social media handle, wherever you want to direct folks, so they can dive a little bit more into what you're doing.
So go to our website, www.marques, Ogden, Ogden.com, right, Jamie? Or we have a new link, Marques360.com. You can check out our website, our podcast, testimonials, all that stuff. So you can go to our www.marquesogden.com or www.marques360.com.
Love it, man. Appreciate you doing this. Thanks for jumping on. It was really great talking to you, and we'll stay in touch.
Appreciate it, Jay, and thanks a lot, my friend.